Hola, hello, and hello. I've seen a lot of questions in the community regarding the effects different types of foods have on our bodies, especially when it comes to sugar, and also several comments on what meals are actually good for breaking the fasting window when you actually start eating again. So I want to dive in deeper today, and especially in the upcoming week, by actually starting a little experiment of 7 days where I explore my reaction to different types of foods when breaking my fast, of course, in order to really have a joyful and also productive day. So it's important for me to do this, and also I hope that with this I can share with you guys so you also get a better feeling for things, and obviously hopefully answer some of the questions that have been asked in our community. So please keep in mind though always that bodies react different, right? So we're all individual. This is just something I want to say, but other than that, I will, really excited. I'm looking forward to doing this 7-day experiment, but I won't do it alone. I will get guided also by a device. So I'm going to use a continuous glucose monitor so I can visualize my body's response to the food I am eating, and obviously try and share with you guys how these different foods have a different effect on me. And I'll be guided by Dr. Latz, who is the Chief Medical Officer and co-founder of Hello Inside. So I will be doing the Hello Sugar program and getting tips and tricks off her. And the Hello Sugar program of Hello Inside, for those who don't know, Hello Inside is a company that is on a mission to help people become more aware of their bodies needs in order to feel healthy, happy and whole again. So I really like this mission, and obviously want to have a look what all the fuss is about, and obviously support things like this, since it goes along with Fastic's mission too, and what I believe in. So we will talk today about the questions before getting started for the next 7 days, and after that I will obviously make sure to track the foods, and when I'm breaking my fast for the 7 days, and post it here on YouTube and on the TikTok channel from myself. So if you have questions in general, please comment, leave some feedback, and really happy to start this. And after the 7 days, Anna will also join us again on the Feel Good Podcast to talk about the results, experiences with Hello Inside, and how it benefited or in this case, my daily intermittent fasting routine. But obviously this is what I will try to make into a journey where you can also benefit from. So let's stop talking and actually dive right into it. Hey Anna, lovely to have you here.
Yeah, thanks Phil for having me and starting the journey with Hello Inside together.
100%. I'm really excited to test the next 7 days, breaking my fast and actually using Hello Inside to actually measure and really getting insights into what different types of food actually work best. So maybe just to let you know, my goal is to find out for our community what, and of course for myself, what foods actually increase energy, can boost focus, and also how to control a healthy weight. So I'm really looking into this conversation, looking forward to it, and really can't wait to start. So maybe we can just start off by talking about, or you can talk about what I can expect, or the community obviously watching too, of the Hello Sugar program and how it exactly works.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can confirm that those goals are very realistic, although ambitious for a week. But we can work on that together. So as you said, you're going to test the Hello Sugar program in combination with a continuous glucose monitor, CGM. We will show it later on what exactly that is. It's a little sensor you put on your skin, and it's combined with the Hello Inside app. And this program, the Hello Sugar program, will guide you over the next, actually in 2 weeks, you have the sensor on your arm to really become an expert of your body, even more so because you already know your body pretty well. But the whole approach is very personalized because different foods trigger different reactions into our bodies, and you can make discoveries, really understand, as you said, what gives you energy and how you can see that in our glucose curve, and also what takes your energy, what are your energy drainers. So really understand what the basic of blood sugar is and how it really impacts you.
Wow, perfect. Yeah, that sounds really interesting. And of course, for everyone listening, once again, this will obviously be very interesting in general, but really make sure to note down that obviously everyone is individual and has a different body, what reacts differently. But I hope that still we can show with this what different types of food have an effect.
Oh, yeah.
7 days is a bit short. That's true. I'd love to carry on, and I probably will as well. But I think we can also get a lot of results in the 7 days, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I would say for everyone, like looking inside with the sense is always interesting. And especially the first time you have it, really observe your usual patterns is already so eye-opening. And when you really get into it, then of course you can repeat it any times.
Perfect. That sounds good. What would you say are the biggest benefits of doing this program?
I mean, of course, as we use a sensor that's on your skin, you get data, and that gives you really objective feedback. So data-driven insights. We often say we should get in tune with our body, our intuition, feel our body. But for some people, it's really hard to make sense of different signals like hunger, satiety, or thirst, energy lacking. And all that you can really see by visualizing your energy levels by means of the blood glucose curve. So that's definitely really one key objective and also benefit when you try it, and will avoid the blood glucose roller coaster, how we call it. So when it really fluctuates, goes up and down. And this is really something we want to see already in the first week, that we only have those nice little waves. And of course, then you will, and that's what you said, mostly focus on how food impacts this curve.
Yes.
Because what happens after a meal, we say it's postprandial after a meal, the 90 to 120 minutes afterwards, that's really where the magic is, because there you can really see how you react, very personalized, but also which hacks and tools are there for you to have a nice flatter curve with nice waves and not go on those roller coaster ride.
Amazing. I mean, that's definitely an approach I've also always wanted to bring across. What we obviously try bring across with Fastic too is just the individual approach. Everyone is different, like we just said before. And I think that's also one thing is really important, is obviously the daily decisions we make, right? Like the impact it has on our health, what we do today, and obviously in the upcoming days when it comes to long-term health. Like I always try and see it as investing in myself, in for older, healthier version of myself when I maybe hopefully turn 80, maybe even 90, but still actually have some quality in life, right? So I think this is so important and so good to actually go into that. So I think it's really good what you guys are doing. And obviously, since our community is very fasting focused as well, and they love to fast, we would like to find out what foods are the best to break your fast. Maybe you could go into that a bit as well.
Sure. I mean, maybe one step back, just explain a little bit what you really do and see
of course,
with the means of the Hello Inside app, and how you could really then measure what is good. So because just that we have the same terms, what we want to work with. First of all, of course, we give you back feedback in the form of the waves or curves, the blood glucose curve in your daily screen, but also some scores to meals from 1 to 10. We will also explain then in the app how exactly they calculate what they mean. But just to say that's really objective, how you can measure if something is good, for example, respect to breaking the fast or not. And then we also help you by really giving you experiments which you can use to compare different kind of foods. Is it the oat milk latte, or is it the coffee with a different kind of milk? Or is that a good choice for your breakfast or the first meal of the day? And I think fasting is super, super interesting, because we know the first meal of the day, may it be breakfast, maybe for some people lunch, or even later, that meal really sets the tone for 100%. The rest of the day in respect to how we see the blood glucose response. Yeah. So now answering your question. So what are good choices? I think that's really what I love about blood glucose. Once you look inside, and I always recommend to start with really what you do usually. So you would, for example, try out what you usually do to break the fast and see how you react, because you want to do a real life example. And then you can tweak it. And there are some rules that apply pretty well. Of course, we always want to have balanced meals. So carbs do not want to go naked. They love to be accompanied by proteins and fat. And this is what you can do in breakfast bowls, can even do for a lot of people, porridge is a good choice, but make sure to add your proteins and fat to it to really have a softer approach after fasting. Or if you're into smoothies, that's also something we see a lot. Smoothies give your body a lot of work to do, and because there's a lot of often fruits and veggies in it, more than you would eat as a whole. Also there, try to incorporate more protein and fat in form of natural sources like nuts, but also if you want to supplement something here, I think that's also something that's really, really feasible. And then one of my favorite glucose hacks is, of course, have a veggie starter. And this is something you could even do at breakfast or the first meal of the day. Really think in fiber, think in veggies, because this really helps to buffer what happens in your body when you have a rather carb-rich meal. And this leads us to one last tip for the first meal of the day: have something savory for breakfast. That might be counterintuitive for some people, but everything that's not super, super sweet with added sugar could also count as savory. And then, of course, this could be eggs, but also like a skyr or yogurt with some fruits would rather go into savory in respect to the cinnamon roll, for example.
Thank you. Those are amazing hacks, and thank you for also like going back a step, because of course it makes a lot of sense to go in a bit deeper into that. And I've actually noticed that myself with, obviously I've never measured it so far, so I'm really looking forward to that, but that it really is different what I eat and how I then start my day. Like you said, it really sets the tone, right? And I for myself have discovered, when breaking a fast, the best meal for myself is a salad. I usually put a bit of nuts in it to try and spice it up, some herbs, obviously different kinds of vegetables. And that is my sort of pre-meal, where I just start out and then I go on and have a maybe bigger meal or more heavier meal later on. So you touched on that before. That was one of your hacks. So actually starting out with veggies, you would also recommend, right? That is the best.
And we can even broaden that, because that's a hack that applies for actually any meal you can have. And it's great you already do it. So I'm quite happy, looking forward to your experiments when you just try to confirm it with a data-driven approach, really see that your curve might not spike. Spike is what we say when the blood glucose really rises steeply and quickly after a meal, but rather would be a soft curve and really be not so much work on your body. So this veggie starter is something we really, want to do in as many meals as possible during the day, just because it's really feasible. You could either order, if you're going out, order veggie starter, salad, or other veggies. You're always tempted to start with the bread. Do not do that. Eat the bread last. And the same at home when you're cooking. Our head of nutrition had this nice idea to recommend, when you cook, snack a little bit on like crudités, on like carrots, whatever you're doing in sense of veggies, because then you have this 10, 15 minutes before the meal, the veggies are already in, fiber in your stomach, and your body can very much better deal with when you eat a pasta or rice dishes, etc.
Wow.
And then this is a little bit intertwined. This is the same as the food order. That's another hack we always see. I touched up in it a little bit with the bread in the restaurant. Really also there, try to be a little bit stricter on start with the veggies, then go to the proteins, and then in the end you can also take in the carbs and even the dessert, but make this really in this order. It's a much softer response in a blood glucose curve.
Wow, that is really interesting, especially, and that would have been a question of mine anyway, what I just had, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners too, is like, you said even 10 to 15 minutes can make a difference, right? Because I was always under the impression when I eat food, it doesn't really matter, because I eat it in the time of, 15 to 30 minutes, and then, but obviously it does have an effect, right?
Yeah, it definitely does have an effect. I would love to see it also confirmed in your body, but this is something we've seen over a lot of experiments. I tested it myself, the whole team, our whole community. A lot of people have tried it out. Just the easiest example would be have your pasta and then have a little salad with the same amount of pasta afterwards. That's what I love about it, because it's not about, like, usually diets are like, you have to be restrictive here, avoid that. You rather have to add something to it, and then you might even be fuller because you had the veggie starter, had the salad with the fiber that gives you satiety. But you can still have your pasta and still feel better and not go into this glucose dip and energy draining part of the day. So that definitely works for every meal, maybe breakfast, lunch, snacks, whatever. Definitely worth trying it out.
Wow, that's really valuable, and what I'll definitely do, because like I said, I do start usually with a salad, and I obviously would like to confirm that. I'm really happy that you're obviously also being there for me and actually guiding me with it. But I also would like to, because I know that a lot of people also break their fast with a more heavier meal, actually test it to compare it, the salad next to maybe starting out with breaking a fast with pasta, what is obviously way more heavier than a salad. And then just that we see these differences and the spikes, like you said, because I think it will be a major difference, right?
Yeah, and I think it's realistic examples. And then we can even add another hack. So you do you, then you do some very common thing a lot of people tend to do. Then we can either treat it and combine those hacks, or you could add the other hack, which I love, is movement. Even 2 minutes, some people say. I would say go up to 5 to 10 minutes after a meal, do some kind of muscle movement. And this could be anything. So this could be just going outside around the block. This could be doing some work at your house and running around a little bit there. Can also be just some, whatever, push-ups, squats, do a little detour when you're in the office or working meeting. Anything that uses muscles helps you to flatten this blood glucose curve after a meal too. And this is also something, you can try it yourself. That's for most of people, because it's actually so simple, one of the biggest aha moments. And one, as you said, one habit we can really incorporate it into our age, hopefully until we are 80 and can still walk around.
Yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed. But I'm sure, and with like obviously devices like what you guys are bringing out and the insights you're providing, I think there's definitely the chances are laying good for us, right? So that's interesting with sport, what you said. I've got actually another question to that, but before, what about doing sport beforehand? Like how does that affect it? Does that also have an effect just like afterwards?
Definitely does. Sport is a very broad topic, so
of course.
that's the proper answer would be it depends on what you do. But in general, of course, anything you do in the morning to really strengthen this insulin sensitivity is really good. What we see a lot in sports, for example, if you do high intensity training, if you do something that really needs fuel in your body, then of course it goes out of the glycogen where it's really saved in the body, or the immediate energy that's there, and you would rather see an uptick in the glucose level depending on how intense it is. This is really something else than the blood glucose roller coaster from nutrition, because it's called a hormetic stressor, which is beneficial for the body. Although it puts some kind of oxidative stress on the cells, it also triggers a lot of effects that really help to defend the cells, and so the benefits of sports are always there. And of course, if you really have the muscles used before you eat, you would probably know it from how you feel and how after such a meal. But you can also see that it's has an impact on the meal and the meal response in the blood glucose.
Great. Then I'll actually try like several sports or movements throughout the week and just see how that reacts as well. Yeah. I'll go to the gym. I also do boxing, but maybe something was more common, like maybe riding a bike or going for a walk. I'll obviously do that too, just to see how that goes. But that's really interesting and really useful. What about sleep? What can you say to that when it comes to the device and Hello Inside?
I mean, all those lifestyle pillars, nutrition, movement, sleep, are really intertwined. What you can see is if you have a late and heavier meal, that it definitely can impact your sleep, and you would rather in the morning have higher glucose levels. If you really had a late carb heavy meal, the body works on it during the night. Same as if you had a bad night of sleep, we all know that the cravings are up for like quick energy sources, and you would rather crave something sugary that might give you energy, at least short term, and then you rather go into the blood glucose roller coaster. So this is also what we see. So especially if you're a little bit tired, try to think back at the first tip of like really combine your carbs with proteins and fat, and then have longer energy over the time. But this is super interesting topic as well. Also the meal timing before you sleep, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I find so good, what you guys are doing anyway in that direction, is because when I go through the supermarket, and I don't know when I started becoming more aware of this, but like every product, well, not every, but so much of the products in the supermarket, I don't know the percentages of it, but I'm sure it will be 70-80% has got so much added sugar or carbs, right? And it's just way too much energy. And that's also something where what we are obviously standing for with Fastic as well, with going back to the roots as well, looking where we come from, how does our body actually work, individualizing it so you actually listen to your own body and getting a better feel for it. And I think that's just... I really have to give you guys a shout out for that, because I think it's not just for biohackers or just in general, it's just so important to actually really get a feel for your body and how you react to certain things, not just foods, but like you said as well, when it comes to movement, to getting more experience about that, because the knowledge is just missing, right? We or I would say, a lot of us grow up without any knowledge and it just doesn't get educated, or maybe even in the wrong way because there's so much information out there. So this is really something that can help.
Yeah, for sure. And there's so many hidden sugars. You said it. There's like, I think when we wrote the Hello Sugar program and looked into a lot of studies, I read that 70-75% of foods in the supermarket have added sugar. That's so crazy. So after the grocery section, you would rather have to be aware that you get anything without added sugar, and the names are just so different, and therefore it's really important to understand what kind of, for example, sauces you have in your lunch, or ketchup is also something. So really look into what you have in your home and what you shop and what you put in your body.
Definitely. So I actually can't even wait to get it started. So I've got the device right here, and I would actually like to ask you to help me with it, to actually connect it. I'm sure that I won't be the only one who has questions to it. No. My first question would obviously be, does it hurt? No. Do I need to be scared?
No, you don't need to be scared. You're asking that because there's a needle involved that helps you to put the sensor in and out. We will see that in a second. So happy to assist you. I think it's quite important for people to know, you can open the package already. It's really important to understand you can do it yourself and you don't need any assistance to it. So here you see there's the sensor. It's already in a nice package, already the applicator, the bigger part, the blue part on top, and then the sensor in between. Now you can open that. Maybe before you do that, because you want to put it in your arm, you have to show us your arm and undress a little bit, please.
Yes. Try to make it appropriate, but yes, I will take my shirt off.
Yeah, perfect. And then whatever arm you want to use, it doesn't really matter. The important part, the trick is when we now apply the sensor, that you use the arm you want to apply it on and put the hand on the shoulder. Yeah. Maybe you can open the sensor and show how it's applied together, and then show it in the camera. It's just, you never have to screw it open like that.
Okay. Just turn it, because I don't want to break it.
Just screw,
maybe I'm just too weak.
No, you don't. Just screw it open.
There we are. So
do you have it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then, and there we go. The white part can go away, and when you look into the yellow part, you might see a little needle. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you see it?
Yes. It's tiny.
Okay.
Very small.
So, that's tiny. That's the needle that helps us to bring the sensor in. So do you know which arm you want to use?
Yes, I'll go with my right arm.
Put it on the left arm. Okay. Then you take it into the other hand, and then you go to the, maybe you can move out the t-shirt a little bit, just a little bit.
Of course.
And then you go into, For women, it's always easy. I always say go into the wobbly part. So you put your arm just as you do on the shoulder, and then you go put it a little bit from below.
So?
Yeah, there, exactly. Okay, perfect. And whenever you're ready, I can count to 3, and then you just push the whole sensor against the arm.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was it. So did it hurt?
That literally did not hurt at all. And it's safely...
Yeah.
If that would have been my experience as a doctor, as a child, I would have had a great childhood. I was always terrified about needles. But you can't even feel anything. Like, this is perfect.
This is the sensor. Now you have it there. You can make sure it sticks a little bit with a little plastic around it, the plaster, just that it's there. But it looks good from what I see via the camera. And now next step would be to download the Hello Inside app and connect the sensor with the app. You can do it afterwards easy. That's, I think, the biggest challenge is taken. And after you've connected it with the app, it takes 1 hour to calibrate, and then you will have your data. And then I'm looking forward to see your results and experiments in the next weeks.
Yay, that sounds good. Great. Maybe just one quick question for the people who are interested in getting it themselves. How long do you recommend having it on the arm? Then 14 days in general, or?
I would just, you would do the experiments now for 1 week, but it's the duration, the lifetime of this sensor is 2 weeks. So I would definitely wear it the whole time. Mm-hmm. You can swim with it, go to sauna with it, sleep with it, of course. That's why it's important we put it under the arm a little bit more and not on the side, because some people then tend to lie on it. That's why I like to put it there where we put it. Yeah, and you can also put a patch on it if that you feel safer, but I always wear it like that. So, yeah. And super. It should not really hurt you, because it just measures the data 24/7 now. And yeah, you will get feedback from what you do starting in an hour.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, very, very interesting, very informative. And like I said, I really can't wait to get started, because I know this will bring me personally a lot of value, but most of all, I hope it will also obviously help our community. And then also, for those who are interested in general in Hello Inside, please comment down below, and then we can definitely hook you up and help you getting started, because I hope it will be worth it, but I'm sure it will be worth it, because everything you said so far makes a lot of sense. But yeah, now it's time for me to actually getting started. And yeah, when I have any questions, I'll reach out to you. And otherwise, thanks so much. And we'll see each other in 1 week again in the Feel Good Podcast, and then actually go a bit deeper and also discuss some results. So thank you so much for joining today, Anna. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks you. Time to look inside. And even if you confirm something that's good, I think that's always worth it.
100%. All right, so enjoy your day, have a lovely one, and thanks again. And then, see you latest in 7 days.